Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. Unless of course you're new and you're here for the first time, then welcome to you as well. In today's video, I'll be taking a look at the new Aventus version 2 airbrush. Now, as many of you know, there was a lot of controversy revolving around the release of the first Aventus.
Serenity now, insanity later.
Mainly due to quality control issues. A lot of people received their airbrushes either broken or the parts being bent or things not quite fitting together properly. So apparently they've gone back to the drawing board and have fixed all those major issues that they had the first time. I suppose I was lucky with mine because I never really had any issues with it. Now, whether that's them sending me an airbrush that they made sure was in good shape just because I was going to be reviewing it, who knows? I can't say. Nevertheless, let's take a look and see how this new airbrush compares to the old one and check out what they've actually changed to make this brush better. Alright, so what you're seeing here is the old Aventus and the new boxing of the replacement Aventus. So we'll be taking a look at this one and the old Aventus that will be available to everybody real soon. As many of you know, or maybe you don't know, the initial release of this airbrush was pretty exciting because you could get your name inscribed on the brush itself. You could choose what colors you wanted. You could have different colored backs and bodies. So it was kind of a neat concept, and the shape of the airbrush they changed out as well. With this version here, like I said, people were having issues with bent needles, the area back here with the trigger binding and sticking, and there was some grinding going on near the back of the brush as well. So that was probably just due to quality control, I'm assuming, or their machining tolerances weren't quite right because maybe they were rushing the brush out to get it to market. Nevertheless, they have apparently fixed all these issues, and we'll be taking a look to see what it is they have fixed. Of course, it comes with all your seals that every airbrush comes with. Your quick start guide. If you have other airbrushes, this won't be anything new to you. But if you don't have an airbrush and this is your first purchase of an airbrush, this actually is a nice little guide, and it really helps you to understand a little bit the way an airbrush works. And as with all Gaahleri airbrushes, they give you a nice detailed breakdown of the brush, naming all the parts and everything you get with the airbrush. It comes with your 5-ounce cup and your 10-ounce cup, and like I said, your 2 needle sizes and 2 nozzle sizes, and then it's just a breakdown of how the brush goes together and comes apart. So taking a quick look here, we can see it's the black Aurora is the brush that they've released. And first feel of the brush, if you hear that, it sounds pretty smooth, right? There's no clicking or binding at all. This actually does feel way smoother than that other one. Like, the trigger action is really nice and fine and nice and smooth. I think that is one of the things that I can tell right away that feels better about this brush. As far as the rest goes, it looks exactly the same. Looks wise, I can't really see any noticeable changes to it. So I thought I'd break all 3 airbrushes down and compare all the parts to see if anything has changed internally. This is the original Aventus here, and this is the sample one they sent to me, and this is the version 2. The only difference visually that I can see here is that's a brass looking spring, and these are more of a white metal type of spring. That's the only visual thing that is different. However, coming right from Gaahleri itself, that the extra coating added thickness and makes extremely tight dimensional control more difficult. By moving to stainless steel, they control the dimensions more precisely and improve the concentricity and alignment between the nozzle and nozzle cap. So in practical terms, they're saying it's more precise and repeatable fine line performance, better nozzle cap alignment, more consistent atomization and paint flow, tighter machining tolerances and component matching, better unit-to-unit consistency through stricter quality control, because most of the final improvements were about precision manufacturing, consistency, and the nozzle system, rather than making it look like a completely different airbrush. One thing, if you do buy this airbrush, that you might get frustrated with is how tight this air cap is on the nozzle cap itself. I had trouble getting it off. Now, you'll want to be careful when you do this. Don't use pliers. I found just taking an X-Acto blade and going in right here and slowly, because I couldn't get it off no matter what I did. It just takes a little bit of finagling and you can get that off. So I'm going to do a direct comparison between the new version 2 Aventus and the first version of the Aventus from a while back. And I'll be using the Turbo X portable compressor for this airbrush, and I'll be running this airbrush through my main compressor. There won't be any difference in pressure because I have them set roughly to the same pressure. Okay, let's go and check out how they spray. And before I do any spraying, because I have lubricated this airbrush and the other airbrush, I always lubricate them. I'll be using some airbrush cleaner, and I'm gonna run a little bit of that through there just to get rid of any cleaning agent that's been sitting in there from before. And I'm just using a spray out pot that I use for cleaning out any debris from the airbrush, or when I'm giving it a spray out after a session or changing color. If you like this unit, you can find that on my affiliate links in the description below. If that's something you like to pick up and you don't have one, I would recommend them. I've used it for years, obviously, as you can see, and it works great. Okay, I did a little testing just before I turned the camera on here. I had it a little too thin, so I had to add a little more paint to my mix just to get the consistency proper. We're going to spray with the older Aventus and see how that works. So this is like for full coverage. And I'm just putting on nice, even, light coat. And as you can see, that atomized really well and sprayed out nice and fine. So yeah, it handled the task, spraying that no problem. Let's see how the other brush does. All right, this is the Aventus version 2. I'm pretty sure that the trigger is smoother with the version 2. Don't seem to have to, not struggle like with the other one. I wouldn't say struggle. It seems like I don't have to press quite as hard back on the trigger to release the paint. You can see it's going on just as smooth as the other brush. Very minimal effort. So here's a side-by-side comparison of the two. I think you'll agree with me that they sprayed equally as well. Again, it's just a matter of getting the paint thinned out properly when you are spraying to get the results you're looking for. Let's go and take a look and see how they handle some fine camo pattern. Got the paint mixed about a 50-50 ratio. Oops, too much paint again. But I guess that's not too bad for the original. Let's see how the upgraded version sprays. I have some Tamiya paint loaded up in the new Aventus, and I'm going to try that instead of the acrylic I was using. It was working okay, but so I'm going to try the Tamiya paint. It's just something I'm used to, and I know the thinning ratios and all the rest of that. Yeah, and already I'm getting much better results. Just goes to show that if you're used to something, I guess stick with it. I mean, that doesn't mean don't try new things, but I don't know. If it ain't broken, I don't fix it. That's not a bad fine line. So you can see I've got pretty good control, and I'm getting some really nice fine lines and fairly consistent. I've added, that's a little too much paint there. It's fixable though. Sorry for the background noise, that's my 3D printer printing away. So there might be some external noise, and I apologize for that. So that's not so bad. It's a little ghosting around the edge there, and that could be just I'm not getting close enough. So I'd say that's pretty decent results. Okay, final verdict. Would I buy this Aventus when I already have this Aventus? I would say no, because my original Aventus worked fine from the day I got it. I personally wouldn't want to upgrade from this because I actually prefer this one to the new Aventus. But if you don't have an Aventus, I would recommend this airbrush. It does work fine, as you saw from the testing. The only thing, I guess, I don't care for on this brush is how tight this nozzle protection tip is. See, on the original Aventus, I can just take that off very easily. So it's convenient if you need to get in tight and you want to take the cap off the end. I can just, pull that off very easy and then just start spraying. With this one, I need to really get at it and, pull at it. It's so tight. So maybe that's, the new tolerances with this airbrush, because they did make the nozzle cap out of new material. So maybe that's why that's so tight now. I'm not sure. But other than that, they really worked about the same. So I don't really see the difference, to be honest. But that's just me. So I'll leave that up to you guys. You'll have to make that decision on your own. If you already have this one, keep it. And if it worked fine, keep it. If you don't have one, sure, you could pick this up. But yeah, I don't really see any difference with it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought, what you think of these airbrushes. And I know what some of you think of these airbrushes already, so don't be a jackass in the comments. Just, I don't mind critical comments. That's fine. I can deal with those and I have no problem. It's your opinion, but, You don't have to be a dick about it. Right? Anyway, that's it for this one. I will see you guys in the next video. If you found this video interesting, please consider subscribing. And click the bell icon and you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But most importantly, make sure to like this video. It'll then be suggested to others interested in the same type of content. Speaking of interesting content, check the video out on your screen right now. And I'll see you there.